I mean, something I've always appreciated about this pod is like, we just talk, right? And we can talk to anybody. And I mean, I've known you long enough to know when you were a Bernie guy, right? And I always tell people that.
Still a Bernie guy.
Yeah, no, I know that. And that's why people were so shocked to see you come around. And I was like, guys, you just don't know Andrew, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it's one of those things where because I've been able to get to know all of you and, you know, the whole comedy scene or whatever, when people ask about podcast bros and MAGA, I actually think you're very representative of the audience in your turn against people who it seems were like fighting for the system, and to the extent that there was an appeal of Trump. And that's why it explains for somebody who could vote for Trump and also be like, yeah, Mom Donnie seems America first to me. And it's because the horseshoe
I said
there.
New York first, by the way.
Sorry, New York first. But okay, but the point is
conflated in news
fine,
a lot.
But the horseshoe there is about talking about the country or the city that we're living in, as opposed to these more establishment interests that you were elected to fight against in Trump's case. But that's the appeal. And somebody was like, oh, you speak to MAGA, right? And I was like, no, I actually don't. I was like, to the extent I have any authority, it's with 18 to 35-year-olds who are interested in politics, the vast majority of whom are pretty bipartisan, a lot voted for Trump.
Sense.
Yeah, but like those people are actually very independent. They do go along with trends and other things. And the most important thing is they both think for themselves.
Yeah, they're not in a cult.
And they are not in a cult. Exactly.
Everybody's not everybody. There are very loud people that are captured by the cults.
Yes.
And the cults are rewarded online with the algorithms.
Yes, of course.
There's the views, and there's the clicks, and there's the pats on the back, and there's the yes queens in the comments. But in reality, it's not representative of actual people.
Mm-hmm.
So when the actual people see people having common sense conversations, which I hope that we have on this podcast, you know, today, right now, we had the Pod Save guys on the pod.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like,
Good idea.
what's so interesting is like, their criticism was the exact same thing that I was saying. They immediately were like, this reaction that I told you so is like typical fucking liberal.
Yes.
Dumb shit where it's just like, we have an opportunity to use this frustration to win, but these people don't care about winning.
Right.
So they're acknowledging the grift as well. And these are the most liberal guys you can imagine.
Well, you know why that they say that? Because they actually won an election. They know how to win a fucking election. They worked for Barack Obama. Like Barack Obama. I mean, do you guys remember the state of Ohio? He won that state. Okay, he won Indiana. That's insane.
And MAGA does it so well, bringing people in. Like you've seen people go to the protests, like where they pretend to fake protest on the other side. Right. So like liberals will go to the MAGA side, and then all the MAGA people are like, yeah, come over.
Yeah, they're like, hey, come on in, right? But my point actually is the way that was sold. But now that people like you are beginning to speak out, people like me and others, it's like you are fake, or, you know, you're not trusting the plan enough. And it's like, I would argue that the least patriotic thing you could do is actually trust the government. I would actually argue also in the case of when you support a political movement is that the least impactful thing you could do is trust the plan. And because the people who don't trust the plan, they get shit done. You think Israel trusted the plan?
Nope.
When we were trying to do diplomacy, they were like, no, we're fucking bombing Iran, okay? And you're coming in with us. Yeah, exactly. They always win.
And that's the thing. And I promise you, I don't promise you, but I would imagine in the next week or two, we will get some disclosure about the Epstein files that we were not going to get.
Right.
And the reason we got that is because there are people speaking out. There's a reason why the White House responded to us.
Yeah, that's right.
The people are speaking out. It's not just us, but it's a lot of people speaking out about our frustrations. And whether you like this or not, the White House, the current administration, is very transactional. If they feel that people are becoming disillusioned, they acknowledge it immediately. So if you do not voice these things, you do not get what the fuck you want.
Get it.
It's like... And what do you actually want? At the end of the day, what do you want? Do you want to feel good in the moment? Do you want to get your little clicks and views, make your little face-to-camera videos, or do you want to actually have some form of justice for 1,000 girls that were victimized?
According to the government, according to our U.S. Attorney General,
1,000 that were victimized. What do you actually want? Because I'm glad you feel good with your pats on the back. To me, it'd be pretty good to know if 1,000 girls gets a little bit of justice. That would make me feel pretty good.
Yeah, it should.
So before we leave, can I ask, what is Trump's game with the Epstein files? Why would he, while he's president, Epstein is arrested, killed, dies, and then runs on releasing the files, does the fake sort of kangaroo release, and then now says that he was not working with any other conspirators?
There's only two possible theories, which I was not that open to this one, which was that Trump is implicated in until the more recent statements. Why are my boys and gals like paying attention to all this? You guys all need to move on. Or on camera where he's like, are you really still asking about Jeffrey Epstein? By the way, the day after he put out that Truth Social, he was tweeting about revoking Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship.
That's funny.
So it's no, I mean, it's funny, but he's like, you guys are focused on Epstein when there's all this other stuff happening. It's like, bro, you're literally tweeting about Rosie O'Donnell's getting denaturalized as a citizen. But that's one theory, is that, look, I mean, I read you guys the quote.
Something where
he likes him young. He said that in 2002. He said it. So maybe he knew something.
We're 6 months in.
Yeah.
How do you feel? What's the job that Trump
sorry.
Oh, no, sorry. I need to give the second.
Oh, my
that was
God.
the first theory, which I did not give credence to.
Yeah.
Also, Tucker made a good point. He's like, wouldn't have the Biden administration released it? I was like, well, I thought that they would have. But listen, what if they wanted to protect Bill Clinton? Or, all this other stuff.
You can't release one.
Right. You have to release it all.
Because what would the Biden administration do? They'd release one person, Trump, and then nobody else.
That wouldn't make a lot of sense.
And then we'd be like, okay.
According to Trump, they created the files.
Hunter was on them
right. Obama created the files. Okay.
And Hillary made the files about Clinton.
The second is that it would be devastating to our relationship with Israel, or it was at a request of Israel, or it'd be devastating to our relationship if the CIA is that to be exposed. I mean, for example, everybody knows the CIA killed Kennedy. Why has the CIA fought the release of these documents for 60 years?
Because they did. We're just that is.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I think. Okay. Again, let me be more precise in my language. I think that they were aware of and participated at least in some form in the plot that killed Kennedy. I'll put it more responsible.
Cover-up.
Not the kill, at the very least, involved in the plot, and of course in the cover-up. That's like actually not a question. So why did they do that? Because they knew that it would break the American public's irrevocable trust in the way that they conduct business, and that's why they fought for years to make sure that it didn't happen, or that to release the documents. I think it's the same here in this case. It's like, look, what we have is so bad to the CIA, to the FBI, to Mossad, to Saudi, to whomever, all these governments, and to the Israeli prime ministers and others, that it would just be so revelatory of the way that we conduct business. It would make it impossible for us to continue business as usual. And sir, business as usual is so important that we just have to release all of this stuff. And that's how the pressure comes down on Kash Patel, on Dan Bongino, on the Attorney General. And yeah, I mean, it leads to them saying, Kash literally said in 2023, the Epstein files are under the direct control of the FBI director. He became the FBI director. And now he's like, it was all a conspiracy theory. He literally said that. The conspiracy theories were never true. The conspiracy theories you invented, man. So you were either lying then or you're lying now. Bongino. I mean, I have the clips that people can play if they want to of the stuff that we can never let up on this story. We can never let go. Attorney General Pam Bondi from the White House lawn, which used to mean something. I have the client list on my desk. There are thousands of victims. There are all the files. We're ready to release them. And then, Akash, I think you said this. You were like, either it was all a lie or you exploited the of thousands of children to get elected. Yeah. That's pretty fucked up. If you did. So there's no good answer here.